So I'm going to show you how to create your own poster using your bitmoji instead of mine. And I just use preview because when I double click on a file that's either a PDF or a JPEG, it automatically opens up in preview. So it's an easy tool to use to make these changes. Okay, in order to make this work really easily, the first thing I do is I go up to my file menu and I say export, and what I do is I turn this into a picture. So I say a JPEG, and you can leave the file name the same, just know where you're saving it. I'm going to the desktop, and then when I do that, I need to open that one up. So I'll say open, and I'll go to my desktop and I'll click, and if you look right here it says JPEG, so I know that that's the right one I'm opening, and this one I can edit really easily. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger just so it's easier to work with. There we go, and then I won't get confused between which one file I'm working in. Okay, so I need to see some tools. In order to see tools, I can go to my view menu, and what I can do is say show markup toolbar. What that does is it gives me a new toolbar with different tools that I can use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my rectangle tool. I'm going to grab it. Mine just happens to be white because I've been using it to cover up these images. If yours is not white, all you have to do is go up, here's the fill color, click on this and make it white, and make sure your line color is either white or transparent. That means there's no line. And then you just kind of start. So I'm going to go to the top left box first. I'm going to save this big one for the end because it's a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to cover this corner, and I know that this one is the one that says a chew, so that's important to remember. Okay, and I can still see a little bit here. And it actually doesn't matter, you know, to cover it completely because you're going to be replacing, you're going to be putting on top of, so that will help cover up too. Okay, so I've got this whited out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get my bitmoji. So I'm going to go to Google Chrome where I have my extension installed, and I just happen to have it open here. And here's my bitmoji extension. So I'm going to click on this, and I know it's the sneeze or a chew, so I'm going to type in sneeze and see what pops up. Okay, there it is right there, a chew. And you could pick a different, like there's sneeze right here, or there's the one that says a chew. I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to right click on it and say copy, and then I'm going to go back to preview, and I just remembered that I want to have this text, so I'm just going to lift that up a little bit. There we go. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to paste, and there's my sneezer, and then I just make it fit in this box. So I'm going to take my resize, and then I'll pull it over here like that. Okay. So there's my new bitmoji across that. I'll do it one more time just so you can make sure you've got the steps. So first things first, I'm going to get my rectangle. I'm going to cover up. And all these bitmojis, almost all of them include the word so. I have been covering most stuff up, most of the words up. A couple of these though, the words you don't want to cover up. So there's my rectangle covering it. Now I'm going to go back to my web browser, and I'm going to get, and it was wash your hands. So if I type in wash your, oh, there it pops up right there. So I right click on it and copy it. I'm going to go back to preview and click off of that. I'm going to paste and then just resize it so it's going to fit in my box. I love those guidelines. That helps me a lot. Okay, how's that look? Not too bad. All right, so you just keep working your way through them, changing, you know, the bitmoji to be yours. And then this one's a little bit more tricky because there's more to cover, and then there's this blue in here too. So, and of course the dotted line. So I used a couple of different rectangles to help me out here. So here's what I did. I got my first rectangle, and I am not an expert at this at all by any means. I mean, it was all hit and miss for me. So you do what works for you. Okay, so I slide this over. Good Lord. I slide this over, and of course I'm going to lose my dotted line just because I couldn't get the bitmoji exactly right. So I'm just kind of sacrificing a little bit here. And so then I'm going to take this line and go up just so I can cover up as much as I can. And then now I'll get another rectangle, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start smaller and help myself out here a little bit. Do the same thing and drag it over, and you could even go farther over if you needed to kind of help yourself out, but you want to leave that blue banner as much as you can untouched. Okay, so I still have this hand hanging out there, and so here's what's going to happen. I'm just going to make my bitmoji line up correctly so that I can cover that hand. Okay, so I'll go find the bitmoji that's waving. I'm going to come to my stars because I think, yeah, there it is. I think that I typed in the share box hi or hello or waving, and it popped up for me. So copy image. I'm going to go back and paste, and then I kind of slide her down so she doesn't, it looks like it was meant to be, right? And then I will, grab my corner handle and make her hand go over my hand. And then I need to just kind of play with it a little bit until I get it where I think it's doable. And I think that that is just fine right there. Okay, now we're going to pretend that I've done this with all of my little squares. I've got all my avatars changed. Then you can either go up to your file menu and you can say save, or you can go up to your file menu, you can export it as a PDF. It doesn't really matter what you do there. As long as you click save, then your file is yours and you're ready to have it printed out. So I hope that helped you to make this poster your own. If it doesn't, let me know and I'm happy to help you out.